And now, the show you've been waiting for. From Channels TV's global headquarters, it's The Other News. And here's your host, Okey Bakassi.
Hello! Hello! Welcome to a fresh episode of The Other News. If The Other News was a day, it wouldn't be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Now, it wouldn't. It wouldn't even be a Saturday or Sunday. If The Other News was a day, it would be a public holiday. Yeah. You know, everybody loves public holidays. Okay. Tonight's episode promises to be one of a kind. My guest is the former editor of The Guardian on Sunday, as well as an art and culture journalist. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for Jahman Anikulapo. He's in the building. Also on the show, our very own Binta Bhadmus and a certain young professor will be showing us what they have for us. All that and more, but first, as always, is The Other News headlines. Former Ogun State Governor Gbenga Daniels recently announced that he was retiring from partisan politics, as if there's any other type of politics. You know, that's like saying, I'm giving up all moi that contains beans. Well, in his resignation letter, he made sure to list his achievements and victories on the platform of the PDP. Moral of the story, always attach your CV to your resignation letter. Yeah, because you never know when the process could turn into a broomtastic job offer. They will just sweep you off your feet. Yeah. Vice presidential candidate for PDP in the 2019 elections, Peter Obi, has stated that no nation can grow with rigged elections. I got Peter the Rock. But Nigeria is growing steadily in integrity, wealth, and peaceful coexistence. So what are you saying? What are you saying? The Nigerian army has accused INEC of not considering its version of events in INEC's report on the suspended Rivers State election, and also criticized the Rivers State Police Command their handling of the issue. Well, the army said they feel betrayed by INEC and are disappointed in the police. Well, the Nigerian army is not alone. At about 2:44 a.m. on the 16th of February, all Nigerians became familiar with betrayal. And as for disappointment, police is the gift that keeps on giving. The army added that until the police state command cleared the air on the clash that happened between police and army officials, the army would no longer work with them. This army has really calmed down now. They could have done something more drastic, like unfollowing the police on Twitter. Well, we wish them a speedy reconciliation. Yeah, because officers of similar khaki and behavior must continue to flock together. Yeah. And now to other matters. A few days ago, in the cool, calm, composed city of Lagos, Itafaji, this happened.
We were told at about 10 minutes to 10, the building just came down in a shock.
Chai. Over 20 people dead, and mostly children. But thankfully, this kind of thing does not happen often.
A building has collapsed in Owerri, the Imo State capital, killing 4.
Now, the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has visited the scene of the building collapse in the Jabi district of Abuja.
44 people killed and 140 injured. That's the latest figures emanating from the collapse of the 6-story building that was meant to be a guest house for visitors.
But thankfully, it's not as if any other building has collapsed this week.
Earlier today in the evening, we heard that a building had collapsed here in this inner city of Ibadan.
Okay, but thankfully, anyways, thankfully, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to other things. In the light of the recent epidemic of collapsing buildings, the government has proposed a new design for future construction that will be far safer and more structurally sound than existing buildings in Nigeria. Here's a look at the new design. I joke. But seriously, because this is not funny at all. Small children dying is not a laughing matter. Building owners using bribery to dodge safety regulations and put people's lives at risk is not a laughing matter. And the fact that it is now that the government has ginger to demolish up and down after years of buildings going down like the Nigerian economy. Well, can we really blame them when they too have their own structural issues to deal with? Hey, see the terrible conditions they are living in. Maybe there's another way to look at this. Because sometimes Nigeria, they do like building we don't collapse finish. Our heroes past were the first laborers on site, but then they finished their shift. And now, it be like say the laborers that came to continue used poor nation building material. Because every now and again, things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Of course, nobody wants to live inside a collapsed building. So why won't Nigerian residents, aka citizens, try to change address? At least now that children are involved, we are waking up. Just like we woke up when Boko Haram took our little girls. And just like we vex for the schools, the school that sent this sharp girl away. Because it appears that now only children matter when they behave. Maybe we need to elect children into the Senate and House of Representatives. Yes. Maybe the other news needs a child correspondent. Maybe the inner child in us that knows no corruption needs to be set free. Whichever way, like the song says, I believe the children are the future. Yes, the children are our future.
The other news weather report brought to you by the Bureau of Political Thugs. If we don't cause Bege, waiting we gain.
Hello, I am your meteorologist Binta Bhadmus. We start off in Ogun State, where it's a season of atmospheric surprises with indecisive Hurricane Daniela clearing up for retirement, even as it uses style to build back up and make its way across carpet to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, from where it will likely reroute back to Ogun in form of a thunderstorm. Things cooling off in Lagos following a heavy rain of unwarranted bullets in Okota. The city is expected to see calmer weather going forward as citizens continue to appease weather gods via the rainmaker of Bodilon. Still, citizens are advised to carry their umbrellas and be on the lookout for signs of impending man-made disasters. Down south in Rivers, we expect a possible eruption of Volcano Projecto, aka Mr. Projecto. Residents of this state can expect temperatures in their rivers to reach upwards of 40,000 degrees if electoral temperatures refuses to balance out. Moving over to Lady Justice. Environs in and around the Supreme Court struck by lightning before the elections should expect even more disastrous weather, as a rise in sea levels could cause floods resulting from liquidification of election petition hailstones. In Imo State, Snowstorm Roach, which blew away a certificate and froze a number of giant statues, is gradually being forced to temper down. Still, the forecast in Imo remains as inconclusive as its elections once were. So Imolites are advised to prepare for temperatures anywhere between minus 17.5 degrees and 113 degrees Celsius. Across the Midlands, Makurdi and neighboring towns in Benue will be cloudy at 58 degrees Celsius as the battle to end the farmers' headmen clashes rages on. Up north in Kano, things heat up as a certain dollaristic CEO throws fiery tantrums as high as 60 degrees, resulting from an unexpected defeat. As you can see, the political climate of the nation is very, very pleasant, with the heat in the nation gradually rising to a boiling point. And we have never been better as the climate-friendly practice of throwing political caution to the wind continues. It can be expected that Nigeria will reach this boiling point much sooner than later, but nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Thank you very much, Binta Bhadmus. But this your laugh, it get as it be. Okay, moving on. My guest tonight has been on several committees and commissions, but has never been a commissioner. He is also the program chair of Cora and co-directs LABAF. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Jahman Anikulapo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
A lot of very smart journalists are beginning to align with partisan politicians just to put food on the table. You know, it's a trend that is it the direction that the profession is beginning to go now? For you to survive, you need to just identify with one politician and begin to do all his bidding.
It's not necessary. You know, from my experience, because I worked as an editor for almost 29 years, mostly with The Guardian. And I know that there are some places I get to, and I discovered that as an editor, as a journalist, you are more powerful than that politician that you are running after. A lot more people read you. I even wrote a lot.
Well, his money is more powerful than your money. That's the way the problem starts.
But you know, that's one of the tragedies of our society, that we're not actually worshipping intelligence, not intellection, not the quality. You know, I'm a Yoruba person. We have what we call the Barokini, the Gbajuma. And, you know, it's talking about the popular, the influential, the rich. If you go and ask a lot of people in Yoruba land, it is the one that has essence, that is serving serving his community, that is doing that. It doesn't have to have money. Most of our parents didn't have money, but because of what they have done, they win. So if you are a journalist and you sell your soul to, actually, I have to tell you, one of the reasons I left newsroom was because I couldn't cope anymore. The pressure was becoming too much. And you can imagine you sit in the newsroom and someone called you and says, well, I just saw your name on a payroll, or you have a land in a state I've never been to. And I'm saying, well, I said, well, there's a dozen of editors who are signed on your behalf every month. I said, well, when I'm 50, I do not want to continue this kind of job. So quietly, I left. Among other disagreements.
Which is probably why recently you said your journey into journalism was a spiritual move, or is a spiritual move. So when did this spiritual calling happen?
Well,
you know, we never knew that journalists, get calling as well.
No, they get calling. Some of them are pastors now.
Okay.
After, if they are not aligned with politicians, you better be a pastor.
So how and when did your spiritual move happen?
Well, I think my own calling was the fact that I was an actor, trained as an actor, and I was on stage with, well, I'm not that old, like Richard Amijo and co. We're all involved in Ajo Productions, and we're doing a lot of plays, and people were not writing about it. And so one night, we were in Ijesha there, a mosquito. Then Richard said, look, why don't you start writing about what we're doing? Why are we here? So we started writing, and that was my formal move into journalism. I'm talking of 1983. But before then, I'd been fortunate to meet a teacher called Binta Bhadmus, the writer, journalist. He came to do his service in my secondary school. And so he started this drama society and things. And one of the things he insisted on, if you are a student of Binta Bhadmus, you must write an article per week. And he was working with the Punch as leader writer, and he would publish our article. You know, it wasn't big news to us because many people were not. But then, when we then decided to be writing about what we were doing, because we noted that art journalism then was not interested in theater, in literature, and the rest of them, even though we won all the prizes. But so we said, why don't you start writing? So we started writing, I was writing, and we would go, then there was no Marwa, so you walked today.
Anyway, we'll come back and talk about journalism a little bit more. For now, I'm looking and see what our colleagues are preparing for the people today. It's the other news, don't go anywhere. It's about to get even more exciting. Keep watching. In a moment, we'll check in with a certain professor and continue this interesting conversation with Jahman Anikulapo. Yeah, it's the other news, guys. Yeah, you You've been a promoter of arts and culture over the years. Would you say governance in Nigeria has affected the way we enjoy arts and culture positively or negatively?
You know, like some of my comrades, we like to lament that the government has not been interested in the arts. For instance, I tell people, I mean, it is a shame when some of us go out and they say, what is the cultural policy of Nigeria? We do not have. The first article I wrote as a journalist in 1987 was on cultural policy. Up to today, we do not have it. How do you have a multi-ethnic country with hundreds of ethnic groups and there's no cultural policy that define how the Yoruba person and the Ibibio person and how we relate or how we relate with the outside world? So we like to lament about that. No endowment fund for the art, no training school for young people who want to be artists. I mean, so, and without government, people have been able to manage. I mean, in your industry where you come, Nollywood, look at the way it has grown. No government involvement. Maybe they should keep out. Because we now notice that anytime government puts a hand or leg or head in anything, they destroy. So let's keep the destroyer out and let's continue to enjoy our life.
It's not a laughing matter, actually. It's not a laughing matter. You know, it's actually disturbing. And I'll ask you this question. One of the things that most countries are doing differently from us is their ability to market their country as a brand. And it's been working for them. Even other African countries here, their ability to position their countries so that it will attract people, whether by the use of tourism or every other. So, as a journalist, why has it been difficult to properly market Nigeria?
Number one, the policy environment is very poor. We have a lot of treaties, we have a lot of documents that we have signed to say, okay, we too were civilized, I want to belong to the Committee of Responsible Nations. But we've not activated them. So we keep on signing, and you know, one of the shops...
we'll just be signing treaties and putting inside cupboard.
Yeah. One of the disappointment I got when Nigerian government, big Nigerian government, started signing treaty with NGOs, with British councils, and you know, this foreign culture. So I had to ask the minister when I said, what do you want me, who I have an NGO, if my country is signing a treaty with an NGO. So who should I sign with? The Queen or who? So you know, it's really it's something that's so disturbing. We cannot market Nigeria the way we're going. There's no policy. There's no policy. So nothing is regulating anybody.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. So if you had unlimited resources to create an investigative documentary, seeing all these things that we are highlighting, what would that documentary be? What subjects would it cover?
I think it would be more about how the system wastes its own resources. The way we have shortchanged our children who are in school. I mean, you were just coming out of 4 months of strike. What country does that? How do you want to move these kids forward? You send them home, you are negotiating endlessly. Yet we know how much they were spending. You look, for me, I don't know if I can go political.
You were free. It's a
the trader money.
What we're interested in is the facts.
The trader money should have been given to the schools so that the student can get back to school.
Jahman Anikulapo, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Jahman Anikulapo here. Amazing. It's still the other news. Please don't go anywhere. We're here. Recently, we watched in shock as politicians' gift of rice to over 30,000 civil servants created so much chaos. To discuss why otherwise rational, intelligent Nigerians go mad at the prospect of receiving free rice from politicians, please welcome nutritional expert and political consultant, Professor SLK Iresi, to the show. Prof, welcome to the other news.
It's my pleasure.
Yes. We've been wondering why rice is creating so much brouhaha in the country.
Well, it's hard to say.
Prof, you're the expert in this area. That's why we invited you to enlighten us.
You see, I miss the good old days when professors are encouraged to speak the truth. I miss those days.
Talking about encouragement, maybe a sample of the rice Yes, will help us.
You see, rice is actually very nutritious.
But there are other more nutritious food that we have in Nigeria, like pounded yam. So why rice?
Okay, what does a professor like me know? Come on, professor.
No, come on, prof. I think you know more. You just don't want to say.
Well, maybe I can analyze more samples.
If you're talking about more samples, I have more samples.
This is it. Yeah, exactly. Now, you see, from my research, I believe that rice should be on our coat of arms. Yes, because rice is our national food. I mean, we prepare it in so many ways. We prepare it in so many ways.
So please say more.
You see, I will educate you. I'm a professor. Yeah. I studied this thing. You see, Nigerians prepare rice. We make it as white rice, fried rice, special fried rice, coconut rice, ofada rice, village rice, and to summarize, we can die for jollof rice. You see? Okay, think about it. Think about it. How can a leader claim to be able to serve us if he cannot serve us rice? Statistics show that Nigerians need rice, just like Chelsea needs good football, just like our politicians need power, and just like blackface needs attention.
Prof, see, I thought stomach infrastructure was for poor people and uneducated people. You know, when did stomach infrastructure become a thing for professor? Somebody who's educated like you.
Okay, that's where you are missing the point. You see, this thing called rice addiction does not respect persons. It's not a respecter of persons at all. No matter who you are, whether you are a Supreme Court judge, or you are a legislator, or you are a governor, or you are a lowly placed TV host, it still affects you.
Okay. Anyway, what can we do to stop Nigerians from selling their votes for ordinary rice? Prof. Okay, I know what you want.
Wow! The solution is simple. You see, we need to flood everywhere with rice. Rice is the solution to the problem of this country. You see, imagine instead of proposing with a wedding ring, you can propose with a bag of rice. See here, when you see a lady at a bar, instead of buying a bottle of wine, why not send her basmati rice? That way she will know you are classy. See, if policemen should stop you, instead of giving them the usual, when they ask anything for the boys, just give them a cup of rice. That's their cup of tea. Oh, okay. The summary of our research is that our politicians have been trying to tell us something, and that is the solution to the problem of this country is just a bag away. So I would like to say, arise, O compatriot.
All right. Yeah, thanks for that round of applause for our professional or professorial or rice correspondent. I don't even know what to say. Well, this brings us to the end of today's satirical public holiday. That said, the fun doesn't have to end. Just call the numbers on your screen and you can be part of our live studio audience. Gate fee free. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms at the Other News CTV on all Twitter, Instagram, just name it. Our people say all birds that fly must land, even if they land inside pot of soup. My name is Okey. Happy landing.
Okay, water.
So we need more.